Hey guys, this is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with some daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 2nd of February 2016, and it is currently 16:10 here in the UK. You're looking at a GBPUSD daily chart. In today's analysis, I'm going to be going through each pair on my list over here, and I'm going to be looking at each and every time frame for these pairs. The reason I do this is so I can scan for price action setup. I look at each time frame, that way I can see, and I do this several times per day. Doing this several times per day allows me to see pretty much every candle forming, and that means that I rarely miss a trade setup. Because I see every single candle forming, if a candle's forming where I want it to form and it's looking like a good setup, it means I'm not going to miss that setup. I'm seeing every candle forming. One more thing before we get started, these weird timeframes here. So you'll see all my timeframes up here. There's a few weird ones like the 5 hour, 7 hour, 9 hour, 10 hour, 11 hour. I do not trade those timeframes. These timeframes I do not trade. The ones I do trade are the 3 hour, the 4 hour, the 6 hour, the 8 hour, the 12 hour, and the daily. The other timeframes up here, I just have them up there because I like to split price action up into different candles. The reason I do this is because it gives me a better understanding of what price is doing. It allows me to better read price action. So I'm not trading those timeframes. I'm just using them to get a better understanding of what price is doing. And I will show you that in action possibly, as we go through these. Actually, one more thing to note, one final thing before we get started. Today is Tuesday, which means there's a very high chance that we won't find any trade setups. Most of my trade setups take until Wednesday or Thursday to start showing up. So Tuesday is generally a quiet day for me. Don't be surprised if we don't find any trade setups forming here. So let's get started with the analysis. You're looking at a GBPUSD daily chart, as I've said. And what is GBPUSD doing? It looks like it's broken above a resistance area and it's coming back down to test that area for a possible continuation. That is not a setup that I'd be willing to trade, but that's what it looks like it's doing. Yeah, there's nothing really tradable here for me. But who knows? Maybe some of you out there trade continuation, so do consider potentially trading this, or at least taking a look at GBPUSD, because it does look like it's struggling to break back below this support area here. And if it's struggling to break back below the support area, it could potentially start pushing up and go to the next resistance area up here at the 1.4620. Like I said, it's nothing that I'm willing to trade, but it's something you might want to take a look at. Let's check out EURUSD and see what's happening over there. Let's start with the daily. Just looks like it's come up to a resistance area and it's bouncing away now. 12 hour, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. This is actually a good example of what I mean by looking at different time frames. So up here on the 8 hour, we can see that price has bounced away from the resistance area right here. It's bounced exactly from that resistance area. But if we go back to, I think it was, the 12 hour. The 12 hour, it looks completely different. I mean, we're still getting price bouncing from a resistance area, but the point at which this candle here closed is different. So this one closed here, whereas on the 8 hour, the candle closed up here at this point. And things like that can give you a different view of what price is doing. It looks slightly different, and it can make it harder to understand what price is actually doing. So that's why I look at so many different time frames. When you look at different time frames, you get a better understanding for what is actually happening in this area. Anyway, let's keep going. Nothing really tradable here on EURUSD. All right, let's check out USD CAD. What's going on with USD CAD? It looks like there's about, actually no, let's go up to the daily. All right, so yeah, it looks like price is coming down to a support area and bouncing away from it. 12 hour, 11, 10, 9, 8. We actually talked about this in the members webinar at the start of the week, potentially taking a long trade here. I was tempted to, but the setup didn't meet my entry criteria. The lower wick here, it was too low, and I like to place my stop loss beyond the low. So my stop loss would have been down here, and that would have just given me a bad risk to reward ratio. I wouldn't be able to enter this trade, not with a risk reward ratio of 1 to 2. So it just wasn't a tradable setup for me, sadly. Which I kind of, it's kind of getting a bit annoying with USD CAD, because there's been so many good setups on USD CAD, so many great trade setups, and I've skipped them all for one reason or another. I've skipped all these setups. They didn't meet my entry criteria, but they've all worked out very, very well. But, you know, you can't get caught up with stuff like that in your trading. You just have to let it go. If you start getting caught up with things like that, then you start entering bad setups and you start making mistakes. So you just have to let it go. USD CHF, let's look what's happening here. Let's zoom in a bit. Just looks like it's getting stuck on that resistance area and bouncing away. Yeah, nothing much, nothing tradable here. What's GBPJPY up to? Much like GBPUSD, it looks like it's testing a support area, which might be where it decides to continue its uptrend. Nothing really tradable here for me, but do keep an eye on that. It could be a continuation happening. New Zealand USD, let's start with the daily. No, nothing worth trading here. AUD USD, it's in between two support resistance areas, so it's very likely that there's nothing worth trading here. Yep. USD JPY. Okay. There's already been a trade here this week, and it's going quite well. But the trade is technically still open, so there's nothing really that you can get into at this point with this pair, because it's already triggered. The trade was actually pretty nice. I mean, it was based on this move up here, which was caused by news. Then indecision formed here and it started pushing down. So it was just a standard reversal trade caused by a news-based move. And oftentimes those are the best reversal trades. A reversal trade that comes off the back of a move caused by news, they're often really, really good. You manage to get a very good risk to reward ratio, and they're very accurate too, because these news-based moves, they tend to retrace very quickly. And this one happened on Friday, but, you know, obviously there's a weekend break. So it didn't retrace quickly because it was a break over the weekend, but it is retracing now. And since the market opened this week, it's pretty much gone straight down. Not as fast as it moved up, obviously, but, you know, it's going pretty much as fast as USD JPY moves anywhere, aside from when it's impacted by news like it was here. But these candle sizes, they're pretty much what you expect from USD JPY, maybe a bit smaller than some of these, but overall this is an average USD JPY candle size, and it's pushing down. So this was a good setup to take at the start of the week. It's a nice trade, and in terms of USD JPY, it's moving pretty well. So keep that in mind, news-based moves. So not entering a trade based on news, but entering the retrace of a news-based move. It's always a good thing to do with reversal trades. Let's check out EURUJPY real quick, but there's nothing really much going on with EURUJPY. Nah. All right, so yeah, nothing much going on today. But like I said at the start of this analysis, it's Tuesday, so we don't really have much happening usually on Tuesday. Most of the excitement starts happening on Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday sometimes. So I hope you enjoyed the analysis. I know it was a little boring, but do watch tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's analysis will probably be a little better, and we'll probably find some trade setups tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.